I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just hitting go live. Go live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, there is cool music, but it's playing elsewhere. So great to see you guys. We are going to talk about mastering authentic storytelling today with the one and only Dominick Domasky, founder of Motivation Champs, an amazing publisher, everything positive. The guy's got TV shows about bikes and hikes. Absolutely incredible. Love the energy. Dominick, we're going to talk about boosting your brand with sincerity, and we're going to talk a little bit about that around authenticity. So welcome to the LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, and all the other lives we're doing here today. What is the good word?
Hey, thank you, Harry Spate. Anytime I get to spend time with Harry Spate, I am honored. So I'm just soaking it all in, and I can't wait to talk storytelling and authenticity with a guy who is the real deal. So let's do it, Harry.
Great. Awesome. All right. So tell us a little bit about what it is. It's just like a little background of who you are and who you serve, and kind of get people thinking about what you do, and maybe see if there's some opportunity there to follow you and learn more from you.
Oh, very cool. I get to pitch right off the bat. Thanks, Harry.
Yeah, I'm going to let you pick right
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
bat. A
there we
short
go.
pitch,
Yeah,
a
no,
curve.
I'm kidding. The curve. Okay. So I have a company called Motivation Champs, and 24/7, 365 days a year, we try to share inspiration, positivity, and smiles, and help other people do the same. I have this goal. I want to live in a world where 20 years from now, people thank each other, people look each other in the eye, they hold doors for each other, and they say, "Hey, remember back 20 years ago when negativity used to get the ratings? Now positivity does. Now kindness does." So I try to help people share their stories. We publish books. We take people from piece of paper to published author. But I have such a belief that not all stories are best told via book, although I love the book, right? But like Harry's great on this live stream, on his podcast. So he should be doing those things too. So I just want to put out positive content everywhere I can, Harry. So that's me in a nutshell.
Well, I want you to know, Mr. Positivity, I was referred to recently, this past very week. Someone called me the most positive guy on LinkedIn, something like that. And I'm like, you don't know Dominick Domasky. Maybe she does. And maybe I just passed. I just passed Dominick Domasky as the most positive person on LinkedIn. So
And
just
if you did, I would be proud because my belief is I can't do it all alone. I never intended to set out and like I try to live it and share the content but I see people like you doing great things and I want to lift them up. So to get to this goal of no negativity and people holding doors for each other and saying, "Hey, remember there when there was a 24-hour news cycle where everybody tried to poke each other's buttons?" Then we got a lot of work to do, so it can't be
oh my
done by
goodness.
just me.
Yes, and this is post debate last night. So the world is completely divided. And here we are going to talk about peace and love and kindness
Yeah,
and all
there
that
we go.
stuff. So I am in for this conversation. So let's get right down to it. We're going to talk about this word authenticity. I I never really knew what authenticity was until recently. I mean, it's not a word I ever used in sales. It was, I mean, maybe being genuine, maybe being sincere. But over the last several years, I don't know when the authentic word really jumped out, if it was in the last 20 years or last 10 or 5. But this is a word that a lot of people are using and saying, I want to be my authentic self. Well, that can be good, right? If we're completely inauthentic,
Yeah.
that could be good, is that we want to work at being better. But if we're too authentic, then that could also push people away, right? Was that where we start, or what's your thought?
Uh, One, I love authenticity. Authenticity, as far as I am who I am.
Mm.
I'm trying to be the best Dominick Domasky can be. Harry's trying the best Harry can be. But there's a time and place for everything. So you got to know the room, know the audience, know what people are talking about. Let's say vulgarity is your thing and you're as vulgar as can be. Okay, well, there's a place for that. It's not everywhere. It's not church. It's not the live stream on that's going on LinkedIn in the middle of the day.
Right.
So there's, it's not. So there's an understanding. And some people say, "Well, I'm going to be myself," and I saw David Goggins do it. David
Mm.
Goggins, he's all in on what he does. He's got a very unique circumstance and a very unique portion of the population that love him. For
Yep.
instance, let's say Rush Limbaugh back in the day. Rush did what he did, and he had a portion of the population that loved him. Somebody, but you need to know if you're going to go down any path, like let's say you wanted to lead with vulgarity. There's going to be a portion of the population that don't want to hear it. If you want to talk politics, I never talk politics. I don't know anything about them. So it's not for me. I don't know it, but some people, that's what they're into. But they have to know that if this is what you talk about, well, there's a portion of the population that don't want to hear it. So for me, it's about authenticity, but understanding who you're talking to and reading the room.
Yeah, I love it. So can you give me an example when you use the word authentic of someone who is authentic in a good way?
Okay,
What they,
so let's say we're looking for some. Let's say Gary Vaynerchuk.
Mhm.
This is a guy who, well, one, maybe he swears too much. Okay, but it seems that he is authentic, on brand, on mission with what he taught. I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and this. On brand, on mission.
Mhm.
I get it. I get it. You understand what he is putting out. Let's say it's a Joel Osteen. Joel
Mhm.
Osteen, he does faith, he does religion. He never is off of this message of God. Or Joyce Meyer, whoever those people are, they're, they lead with faith, and they're, when you see them, that's what they're putting out to the world. So I would say, no, I don't know in private life, and I don't need to know in private life. I'm saying for what they've shown me over the last, because somebody's going to rebut here that, oh, they live in a $1 million house or this and that. For
A
what,
million.
yeah, for what I've seen in the message they put out is on, like
Yep.
the Rock. Let's say the Rock is a perfect example. Whether
Okay.
he's selling tequila, whether he's acting, whether he's in the WWE, whether he's launching a football brand. This is for you in sales. They like you, they trust you, they buy from you. The Rock, I know what I'm getting. Every
Yeah.
time I'm getting positive, upbeat, I'm getting his muscles. He seems like a good guy. Then I see him buying a truck for somebody. He seems nice in every action. But he's still tough. He's still got his muscles, still who he is. He's not hiding that. But I would say that this is a person who is sincere. And
Yeah.
I got one more for you.
Yeah. I
Since
love
this
it.
is since this is the Harry Spate show, Harry Spate is completely authentic.
Ooh,
So yeah,
I like it.
yeah, no matter what, Harry's always has a touch of humor. He can't turn it off. He's never going to turn it off. Yeah, he can turn it off. He can turn it off a little bit, but so you don't hide that. You let
Yeah.
people know in your videos that whether it's the hat, whether it's how you come on screen and get closer to the camera, there is, but this is who he is in every interaction. I'm not fooled. This is the guy I see. So I'm comfortable. Now that doesn't mean like if this is me who I am. There are going to be people that say, "Why does that guy smile so much? Why does he talk like he does? Why hasn't he let Harry talk for 10 minutes? I don't like him." So I get it, but this is who I am. So there you go,
Oh,
Harry.
too funny. Thank you for setting me up. So first of all, when I think about using video, so like getting our authentic self, our genuine self out there on video, I think is a huge challenge for many because they want, and you may find this hard to believe, folks, but Harry Spate, the multimedia genius that I am, used to be horrified that I would make a mistake in my videos and I would do 20 or 30 or 40 or more of 15 to 30-second videos and just go do over. And I
No,
could show you my
no,
screen of all these stupid videos that were not perfect. And guess what? Who cares? I was looking for perfection. Was I being authentic? What do you think?
Okay, so I'm in that world with you. So check, check, check. Exactly for anybody out there making videos. I've done what Harry does, and we still do, right? We still mess up, and we still make them over, and we, okay, I didn't realize that behind me was an exit sign when I made that video, or something weird. So or car horns are honking, and weird things happen. So you can do them over. But I'll tell you. So you mentioned the show Bikes and Hikes. One day I did like Harry. I always redo, stop, stop, stop. So one day, my partner Dave used to be in an improv group that I do the biking and hiking with. So he was in a traveling improv group. And then another guest we had on, she had traveled across. She was a national Broadway tour, whatever when you tour across country with. I don't know what that's called, but anyway. So we're doing
we're off Broadway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's how it is. So
And
we're doing it off Broadway. Okay. So we are doing an opening, and I'm with the two of them, much more experienced. And something went wrong, let's say, but barely went wrong. And I stopped. I froze. And then I saw the two pros. They just kept going. And I learned that day, and they played it, and they were great. And I saw one, I wasn't good enough, and two, here's two people that have been trained, been schooled. They just went with it. And so to Harry's point, just go with it. I have go with it, warts and all. Too, as long as it's not bad sound, bad quality, and things like that stink. So one time I went to Times Square. I thought I was going to make the best video. I'm like, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to go to I consider the center of the universe. I'm going to go to Times Square and make the best video. So I'm there. I put my cameras up in Times Square. I'm doing my thing. Really, I'm into it. And when I play it back, it's beep, buses, people talking. Nothing I said was audible at all. So it was a terrible video. So sometimes you just can't use it. So go on, Harry.
Yeah. All right. So what am I doing? I got a little feedback here. I think I'm good. All right. So this idea of so me starting out doing the videos, looking for perfection, that wasn't me. I had to learn to be me on video. Mm-hmm. I remember a person saying to me, a young lady, she said, "You're not that guy, right? I know you better, and you're not that guy that's coming out on video." She says, "You need to relax and be yourself." And it's like all these people throughout my life say these brilliant things. Is like, oh, okay. So she says, just relax and have fun. And, now I'm that guy. Now I'm me, right? Before I was trying to be someone else. I was trying to be smarter. I was trying to be perfect. It just wasn't who I was. That does not connect with people. Yeah. But to your point, the idea of looking for perfection and settling for what's less than perfection does not mean horrible.
Let's talk about that, Harry. Let's dig into that if we can. Yeah. I think you have to do the best with what you have at that given point in time in your life. And so let's say I start with the camera. I love the phone, turning that phone around and doing 30-second video. Right now, at this point in my life, I have this Apple iPhone or whatever phones, $1,000 camera. Use that to start, and then as you build, you can add a light. You can add a new headset. Look, I got the headset like this. I haven't added a microphone. Harry's got a fancy mic. I don't have a fancy mic. So you can add. You can build. Be the best you can at that point with what you have, and that's authenticity. So sure, somebody else has a whole production team. I don't. So build, do the best 30 seconds you can, the best minute you can, write the best book you can, chapter, sentence, post. That's all you can do. You can't worry about that other stuff.
Yeah. And then, so where that is in this whole thing is the balancing factor. Eventually you can do better. And then we could be lazy and just say, well, I don't care. I'm in a crappy mood today or whatever. I'm just going to put something out and let everyone know who I am. To me, I mean, that's fine if that's the way you want your brand, but that could also push people away.
Yeah,
If they're
100%.
coming to you for inspiration and motivation and positivity, and you come on video and you say, well, today is just a crappy day, folks, and I'm just going to tell you all the bad things that are going on in my life right now. That's authentic, but is that really what you want to be doing? And I think that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. Am I sharing too much where people are just going to say, yeah, and now I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with what is being shared. And what helps me balance this out, folks, is not everybody is ready for your authenticity. So not everyone can handle it. And what will happen is, like, if you're trying to gain clients, I mean, we're talking about business generally here. If you're trying to gain clients, you could say, well, I don't care. I don't care. I'm only going to attract the people that are, that like me for who I am and what I do and what I say and so forth. They may not be ready for you today. And so you push them away by being completely yourself without any boundaries. You can push them away, and then you lose them for a longer time. You lose them forever because they're going to go to a different place. So you can be authentic. But you can take, what is the word? Temper it.
Taper it down. Temper it down. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, temper it, and with a concern for other people. Right? Yeah. Versus this is all about me, and I don't care. It's about me. That all the best to you, but I just don't think that's always great. It works for some. It may not work for everybody. Thoughts on that long-winded thing?
That's interesting. I say, what is the mission? What is your brand? What is the passion? Okay, so now we know my mission is this. My passion is this. My business is this. And that's what you have to deliver on. To then talk about relationships, well, I go to Harry for selling with dignity. This is what I expect to hear from him. So all of a sudden, when you come, well, it was a bad day. It was a bad day because I drank too much. It was a bad day because I smoked too much. It was a bad day that's not what I expected to find on selling with dignity. So I only have so much time. We have a what's that? Finite amount of time. Is it finite or infinite? It's finite, right?
Finite is the word, yeah.
Okay, we only have a finite amount of time. So when I look to my content, when I look to the books, when I look for people messaging, I have 1,000 choices that day. We started to build a rapport. We started to build a trust. And then I really think this can break trust. So I expected to get selling with dignity. I expected to learn about the NFL. I had expected to learn this. And then all of a sudden, now you're going down, like in the motivation world, I'll see a lot of times that people all of a sudden get in fights with other people or spouses, and then you see that on the content they're putting out. And I'm like, wait a minute, I come to you because I'm having a bad day, and now all of a sudden you're jumping. I think you have to show up on brand, on message. Now, if you could take one of those messages, so authenticity, if you could take that message and curb it and say, well, here's how, like Harry, if it was relationship with Harry, well, I'm going through this, how I use this, how you can use this relationship to grow another way. Okay, I think anybody should be using personal stories to elevate their game, elevate their craft, elevate their messaging. But
I love that. So let's talk about these personal stories.
Okay.
Before we get into that, that's where I want to go.
Okay.
But I also want to just touch on something that you said is like this takes some mental preparation, is when you're putting yourself out and you say, what is my brand? Right? It's not just I'm putting out video for the sake of video so people get to know me. If you're all over the place, they don't really get to know anything. They're just like, well, this person's all over the place. But if you say, all right, I'm going to be about positivity, motivation, inspiration, promoting authors, looking for the good in life, that's down somewhere. It may not be down written, but it is inscribed in your mind. Right? There's no question as to what is on brand and off brand with you.
Yeah. And so It's
That's
a
your
it's a roadmap. It's a roadmap, Harry. Once you know that, then you can easily weed out the things that aren't on brand, on message. Sometimes it gets gray,
Yeah,
and we all mess up. But go on.
once in a while. Yep. Yeah, 100%. So, do you want to be known as a person that is political? Okay, maybe that's part of your thing, but that's you got to make these choices.
Yeah.
But if you're just randomly going to do something, it's going to throw off your audience like you would not believe, right? I get
Hmm.
thrown off. I'm following somebody, then I see something that is controversial. I'm like, where the heck is that coming from?
Yeah.
And now I lose respect. Now the person can say, well, I'm just being my authentic self. Okay, but you're not on brand, right? Your brand is saying one thing, and now your authentic self is saying something different. So
Yep.
who are you really is what it
Hmm.
comes down to. And
Yep.
that I think is the key is when you're gonna use storytelling and show who you are, then you've got to have some consistency there. Thoughts?
Okay. Yeah. Let's go into this. So, in this personal storytelling, what we have to remember, and Harry mentioned it already, is it's always about them. I can tell you a personal story, but the story is really so you can understand your own relationship. So
Hmm.
you can realize that you can overcome something. Like a lot of people go on stages and they tell of the hardships that they've been through. But the reason they're doing that is to show that if they can do it, you can do it, and
Right.
you're wow, look at what they've done. They spark something, ignite something in you, and then you go do it. But the story always has to be about them. So you said earlier, these people go on and like they're not ready yet. They're not ready. So if
Hmm.
somebody wants to be too harsh or talk about too much trauma or and well, they're not ready. I'm not ready to consume that. I don't know you. I don't
Hmm.
know you well enough to hear that it's not on brand. It's not on message, and it's not about me. Right?
Right.
I came to you for help. I came to
Yeah.
you because I wanted to learn how to sell. I came to you because I wanted to learn how to fish. Because I wanted to get marketing expertise. And then all of a sudden, I'm hearing about your views on politics, your views on relationship. I didn't expect that, and I don't. It's just it's not consistent, and that
Hmm.
consistency breaks trust. So I go back to I sold yellow pages and insurance and pharmaceuticals, and one of the main lessons was they like you, they trust you, they buy from you, and there's so many ways that you could break that. You could be a jerk in a million ways. So if you're a jerk in a million ways, you're never going to get to those other two steps. If you break people's trust, you're never going to get to this. They buy from you, and buy from you is you could say engage with you, do business with you, be attracted to you, all those things like that. So that's where I fall in that area.
Yeah. Love it. So talk to me about about mastering this storytelling. What are some steps that people could take that come to mind for you to help them to be better with the storytelling and get these stories out?
Okay. I, One, I can so simply beginning, middle, end. I say beginning, middle, end. What's the win? Don't if you don't know that, like if you turn on it. So here's where I think people go wrong. Right? I'm gonna do a video
I've been
today.
wrong in this category. There's an end.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was ever an end.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on cam. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go on camera today, and then they start walking around. Well, guys, nothing really going on here today. I'm out. Well, like, come on. No, why are you gonna go on camera? If it's important enough to do, make it. Okay. Today we're gonna talk about this, this, and this. Okay. Take it home, drive it
Yeah.
home, and hopefully these three tips that I share will help you sell more widgets. Hopefully, these three tips will help you make a better meatloaf tonight. At least I know. And so I really I can't and then now I'm going a step further because you got me worked up here. Then per platform. So some platforms are faster, some are like long form content, short form content. If all of a sudden you're doing 5 minutes on LinkedIn Reel or whatever they allow, or on TikTok, well, everything I'm seeing is 20, 30 seconds, and this is 6 minutes. And all your other, and even, which is okay if you're doing all 6-minute videos, but what is odd, if I come to Harry for those, Harry gives me 30-second videos. He gives me 30-second videos and then the live stream. When all of a sudden I'm expecting a 30-second video from Harry, and then it's 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes. What? I tuned in because I was going to give Harry my 4 minutes or my minute because he's always delivered in a minute. Now I see 4 minutes. I needed to know beginning, end. What's the
My
way?
goodness. Yeah, this is so good. Yeah, I'm guilty of all the things you just described. I thought longer was better. I did not know that there was such a thing called shorts, that short little clips. I thought everything needed to be around 3 minutes. So yeah, the things that you learn, right? But the key thing is to make the progress.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about the stories as to what's the purpose of the story. Just putting out video for the sake of putting out video is going to push people away because they don't know what the good stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
So if we fill up our profile or whatever our sites are, wherever we are, if we fill it up with a lot of stuff that's just random, out of the blue, it's not coherent, takes too long, we're going to lose followers. Now you have something brilliant to say. You got to find new followers because you just lost a good percentage of your followers. What's your thought on this?
I think I can take it back to they like you, they trust you. If you want me to watch a 30-minute video, you better make a good 30-second one. If you want me to watch a good minute, you better make a good 30 seconds. So I think you have to earn these and understand that what I think a lot of people don't understand is that, like, let's say me, you are going to have a hard time ever getting me to watch something 40 minutes. My head goes boop, 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 boop. I got 1,000 things to do unless I'm sitting down for the night where I'm watching TV. That's okay. That's the time. Otherwise, give me 30 seconds and I'll watch your videos all day long. Give me a minute. So every viewer has their own habits. And you can't be mad. You have to understand, well, let's say, okay, on YouTube, it's a longer form. So the 3-minute video, it works. The 30-minute video, it works because they're expecting that. But if all of a sudden you put out these different times, you lose the trust. So I'm stuck on that, Harry. Go on.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, and you got me stuck on it too. All right, so we're gonna go back to what does good look like?
Okay.
Beginning, middle, end.
Beginning, middle, end. What's the win?
Yeah, nice. Okay.
That to me,
right. So the win can be how am I serving? What thoughts are going through, right? What is my audience getting out of this? Am I looking like a hero that, hey, I was just able to do this today and I'm amazing? Or do we tie that back into the win for our audience? Yeah. That would be huge, in my opinion. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. And if you did some cool stuff and you want to let people know, maybe there's a way to say it so that you could say, hey, sold my millionth book today. Thanks for all the support. It's because of each of you that this happened. Thanks for, got to go charter fishing today with Harry Spade. It's because whatever that is. I think there's a way. I wanted to say this earlier. There's a way to share information, and the longer you can share and give value. Mm-hmm. Our friend Tom Langan. It's always about giving value. As long as we can give value, Tom Langan, legendary. There's a plug for him. As long as we can give value in everything we do, then some people are so in a hurry to make this ask, to get something out of you. Join my club, pay me $199, pay me $500, buy something from me, pay me up front. We know people that do that. Well, how about give me value, and you can determine at some point when so if I give you, let's say I say I share inspiration, share inspiration, positivity, smile. And then all of a sudden I say, hey, here's Selling with Dignity, a great book for if you want to take your sales career to another level. You can build your career not on gimmicks and nonsense. How about build it on trust and Selling with Dignity? I post that. It is your choice at this point to determine if you don't have to buy it, and I didn't tell you had to buy it. I'm saying I believe this book, Selling with Dignity, is full of value. Would you like to buy it? Do whatever you want, but it is me trying to put out value. So in all that I do, value, 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 and maybe once in a while I put out something else. It's not an ask. It's saying I think this is valuable, and you take it or leave it. Doesn't affect me.
Yeah, and I like the principle that Gary Vee did with the 80% providing value, 20% ask. I mean, not that there's any rule, but that's not a bad one to kind of
Yeah,
follow.
right. Give me a 10-1, 80. I mean, to see. Here's authors. Okay, if you could flash in like authors tip.
Authors, calling all authors.
Calling all authors. I'm going to look at the camera too. Calling all authors. Here is a message for you. There are so many times where I haven't seen a post from an author ever. Not one post from an author. All of a sudden, their book comes out and they're, buy my book. I got a new book out. Make my book #1. Well, I don't know you. I don't trust you. You've never given me value at this point because we don't even know each other. You haven't given me a smile like Harry Spade. You haven't given me tips. I haven't seen you on video. And now you want me to buy your book. How about giving me some value first and not just the week before? How about a month before? How about 3 months before? How about 6 months before? And then continuously after the fact. And then when you keep giving me the value, like Harry, the video. And we didn't know this was a sales pitch for Harry. I'm good. All of a sudden, Harry gives me the value all the time, and I might say, "Hey, this guy, he shows up consistently. He gives me a good message, and now I think I'm going to buy this book, Selling with Dignity. There's something about this guy. That's
Oh
delivering
my
value."
goodness. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the authenticity. It's really good stuff. I want to touch on this for those who have books out there. I was concerned that I was selling myself too much. It was all about me. And that there is marketing. We have to do marketing. So for those who have done this and are waiting for something amazing to happen, the answer to me is provide the value, keep serving people, get your message out. The book is not going to go away. It's always going to be there. You can sell it years from now, but if you just put it away and say, well, I wrote the book, hopefully someone wants to buy it. It just doesn't work that way. So the authentic self in us at that time, me, authentic was, yeah, I'm a humble guy. I'm not going to self promote, but I didn't think through that, which was what is the value that I am providing here? And when I was able to remove myself, I know it sounds weird, mystical, remove myself from myself and became Harry's promoter, Harry's marketing assistant, right? I then could take my own pride and ego out of the way and just give people what Harry provided. And that was just the way I looked at it. But it set me free from the inadequacies or challenges that I was like, oh, I'm promoting myself, I'm bragging about myself, and so forth. What's your thought on that?
I wrote I wrote a note here. It says remove yourself from the message. So Harry out there, there's two different things. There's the message he's trying to promote, this valuable message, and then there's him. So we get so tied up in this is about me because, well, no, it was about the message, which is really about them. That, like, let's say if I said it's time for you to share your story, I believe that this is the moment, it's time. That's about you. It's not about me, although I'm the one saying it. That's about you. It's time, right? Don't wait another minute. Don't let somebody do it. Don't let another year go by. The world needs your story. So that has nothing to do with me, although I could be the person. I am the person sharing that message. So I think you're spot on there, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked for me. Is I mean, when I hear people say the hang-ups that they have, it's like I don't want to do this or that because that's not my personality. Well, think a little bit about the ego. The thing about authenticity, doing a little preparation. Adam Grant, who I'm a huge fan of, talks about this. Is that authenticity can sometimes be an excuse for us not growing.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God, this, I mean, I came across the word authentic really getting on LinkedIn and social media in the last, whatever, 5, 6 years. Prior to that, I just didn't have knowledge of what this word was. And it's like everybody on social media uses, right? Be your authentic self. Well, I always wanted to try to be better. I want to be I'm not that I'm the hero here, but I think there's a lot of people that want to be the better version of themselves. And that means the question is, are we authentic when we're trying to be the better version of ourselves? And the answer is yes. We're striving to be better, makes us authentic people trying to be better. Not, well, I'm turning away my authenticity where I like to be, heavy drinker, find me on the side of the road or whatever. That's not who I want to be. Not that I have that issue, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
It's just, I'm trying to use an extreme here, is that I want to be my best self. And I hope that people who are listening to this is what you want to be. You want to be a better parent, better husband, wife, son or daughter, employee, employer, whatever it is. We want to be better. This is the fun part about life, is growing. So sometimes that authentic word can be an excuse for us not growing. And I thought that was really a brilliant line.
It's okay to grow and to get where any of us want to go. To get where any of us want to go, we have to grow. From that, I would almost think that probably a fact to elevate. I need to be smarter. I need to be, the growth is so important. We have to grow. I want to double back on something. If you'll humor me, Harry, do we have time?
Yeah. A couple of minutes.
Okay. So many people, when they start putting out their content, they're like, oh, I told people I had a book. I told people I had a business. I told people I had X product. I did that once. So I'm not going to get into algorithm talk on media because that's a whole other talk. But I want to propose this thought to you.
Okay.
A moment of clarity here. Has anybody ever seen the Budweiser Clydesdale horses?
Well, I have, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and I'm going to imagine some people listening today they see these commercials, Budweiser, Clydesdale horse.
Yep.
Now, how come Budweiser has been airing the same Clydesdale horse commercial for 30 years, 40 years, 20 years? The Clydesdale's young. The Clydesdale's old. The Clydesdale walks across the road. The Clydesdale helps somebody else. The Clydesdale loses, and we don't think anything of it, right?
No.
We give me more Budweiser Clydesdale horse. The commercial comes on at the holidays, and we're like, Budweiser. Yeah. But when it's our own marketing and for our own brand and our own message, we put out a message once, and we're like, did that message already. Can't share that. Can't talk about that product again. They've been doing it for 40 years with the same message, just tweaked, a little bit of tweak. Okay, Clydesdale's on the road. Clydesdale's in a different field. Clydesdale, but it's wholesome. It's on message. It's Americana. We love it. So when you're on message, when you're putting out content, it's okay to share, to pivot, to tweak that message a little bit, tweak it, make it grow, make it a little better, make it different. But people still want that selling with dignity message or whatever message it is about your dance studio, about your, whether it's your dance studio, whether there's people that sell the special pans for cooking. I could use a new pan for cooking. Don't give up. I didn't need your pan. I didn't need your pan a year ago because I had a pan. Now I do need a pan. So there's a time and place, right time. We used to say in pharmaceuticals, right time, right message, or the right time, right message, right place. All of a sudden, if all
Mm.
those things went together, right time, right place, right message. If they all went together, then it would all work out. So that's what I got. Clydesdales.
Well, you know what? I didn't expect to go into Clydesdale conversation today, but that is a great story, and hopefully that visual of the Clydesdales doing the little dance, little baby Clydesdale, the old Clydesdale, welcoming the newborn Clydesdale. It's a great feeling, a great way to end the Mastering the Authentic Storytelling live event, Dominic. It has been a blast. Any final thoughts from you, my friend?
Yeah, I'll leave you with this. I'm something I like to say. Be you, nobody does it better. If you try to be anybody else but you, you will fail. If you do you, if you're yourself, your authentic self, nobody does it better. So that's what you want to do.
Oh, this is a great way to end it. I love it and love you. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a blast.